Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 of the Gilded City 2. We are back and excited to enter Ravenloft. Finally, after our first little initial arc. Now that we are entering Ravenloft, of course, I would just like to let everybody know Ravenloft is the Domains of Dread. There are some spooky things that can happen in the Domains of Dread, so please be aware of that. I will have content warnings for each arc where applicable after the theme song of each episode, so that you know if anything is going to be coming up. But just in general, just be aware of the nature of Ravenloft. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell here on YouTube. And of course, if you are following the podcast, don't forget to leave us a rating, send in comments if your podcasting platform allows you to do that, and spread the good word via word of mouth. And of course, follow us on social media at RollersGuildDND on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter still for now. If you think there's somewhere else,
we're gonna be saying that for like 6 months, aren't we?
We are, and then in 6 months we won't be on Twitter anymore. But anyway, all right. With all that being said, let's go ahead and dive on in. Content warning. Ravenloft as a setting can feature disturbing themes and ideas, and while it is never going to be our intention to upset anyone, it is worth noting. Be advised that this story arc features ghosts, dysfunctional families, cruel clergy, murder, and references to suicide. Last time, after arriving in Baldur's Gate, the party sought out the Vistani band led by Hyskosa. But he couldn't take them to Ravenloft until all his people were accounted for. So the party went into the city to find his missing person, a woman named Ludmila. After saving her from a remnant of the Watchful Order, Octavia revealed that she would not be joining them for the journey into the mists of Ravenloft. And so, with a sad farewell, the party parted ways with their dear friend and journeyed with the Vistani into the mists. As these Vistani carts trundle through the mists, the thick, all-consuming fog presses in from all sides. You can hardly see 10 feet in front of you through the mist. Every once in a while, though, you can see shadows and silhouettes out in the mist. Once or twice, Milosh's cart, which you're all riding on, passes right next to a foreboding barren tree, its branches reaching out, scraping the sides of the cart as you pass. In the distance, you can hear occasional faint noises, sticks breaking, owls and wolves calling to each other, and other strange, unidentifiable noises.
Creepy.
Yes,
That
it's
sounds-
quite something.
That's someone's stomach, right? Bowmin, you forgot to eat.
I did
Bowmin
forget
doesn't.
to eat.
No, that doesn't sound like a stomach. That sounds like well, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Huh.
Just stay on the cart. Don't wander off. You may get lost if you wander off into the mist.
At what point do we get off? Like, is there a station we're going to?
Yes, we do have a destination in mind. We are heading towards the Ravenloft realm of Mordent. We are traveling there for trade, to deliver messages, that sort of thing. So we will be going into Mordent and setting up at the edge of Mordent's largest town, a charming seaside community called Mordentshire.
Oh, well, that sounds lovely. It's a good beach
well.
time.
It's a
People
little
relax.
cold in Mordent for
All right, so we wear
enjoying
our
the
like
beach.
long trunks. How long are you going to be there then?
We will stay for a few days, probably, before we move on.
Right, so we have a few days before we leave with you.
Well, I'm sure grandfather will talk to you about this when we arrive. Actually, he said he had several things he wanted to talk to you all about when
Oh, we did not discuss this
when we
before
arrived.
embarking.
Grandfather simply said to me, and I quote, "They cannot reach where they are going by going with us."
Oh,
So
I'm glad we're with you now.
whatever that means. But we can get you to Mordent, and there, grandfather says that you will pick up the trail.
Great, like a train or a boat.
Sure.
Great.
Listen, it is going to be a while before we arrive in Mordent. These trips through the mist, they can take some time to do safely. And safety is, of course, our priority. We've got, families and children on our band. So we are taking things slow and safely through the mists. I would recommend that you all try to get some shut-eye. We'll make the journey go faster, and you probably need some rest after a busy day in Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
But if you have any, other questions or such for me, please feel free to ask. I will help you if I can.
So it's time for you, and Bowmin just goes on, just
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out what is this whole.
Milos keeps trying to hash out the exact
So
particulars.
is it like a
of the
fine
weird-
line, and you're just a wobbly line,
time-
like going back? and
That's
forth?
actually a good metaphor for it, because we move in one direction and the rest of everybody else moves in one direction, but those directions aren't always facing the same way. That's a good way to
Great
to think
band.
about it.
Hmm.
Jeremy Barry.
As the two of you are having this conversation, Penny,
We just got here.
Ghosts?
We
out of-
just got here.
We're not here yet.
out of the mist, you hear a soft voice simply call out, "Penny?"
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The voice is familiar and fills you with some comfort, but you can't quite place it. No one else hears this, by the way.
Is it what kind of, is it like a
It's a
feminine
woman's
voice? Oh, of course, it's a woman's voice.
You want like a gruff dude's voice?
No,
your
I
name
just
out
like,
from the
I feel
fog?
like I know where this
Benny.
is going.
Do you have anything you want to do with that?
I mean, if I look out, do I see anyone?
You don't see anyone.
I'm just gonna mind my business. Start sweating a little.
Is everyone gonna try to get some sleep?
Yeah.
I think we should take shifts.
Yeah, let's do shifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys want to split that up?
I'll stay up for the first one.
Okay.
I will too.
Okay.
I'm not tired.
How
Penny
long
and
of a
Nyx
nap
stay
are we talking
first.
about?
Milo says, well,
Like a
could be-
long nap or a short nap?
Or a short nap?
I would say, this could take, 6 to 10 hours. So
Oh wow.
Long?
Longer nap.
Long nap. got
I
it.
would normally stay up, but Jinarra has 10 hit points.
Yeah, Jinarra should crash. Jinarra does not need to
Yeah,
stay
you take a
watch.
breather.
Bowmin will take last shift.
I guess I'll snooze now then.
okay. Cool.
Me and Nyx, we got this.
Mhm.
Yeah, Nyx and Penny, you stay up for the first shift. The rest of you, get as comfortable as you can in the back of Milosh's cart. There's all sorts of there's boxes and other supplies in here, but Milosh has some bedrolls that you can roll out and cram into the space. You're gonna be, pretty closely packed, cuddling with each other. But
I'll make like a 4-poster bed out of boxes.
yeah. But you all settle in, and eventually fall asleep. Jinarra,
Mm-hmm.
your nightmares are so much worse here.
Okay.
You don't know why, right? Nothing's changed except where you are. Is that just what Ravenloft does? But it starts much the same as it typically does. The burning city of Waterdeep, people asking why you didn't save them. Some point in this tangled guilt dream, the hands of the people pleading with you reach out and grab at you and pull at you, and it starts to hurt. And you shake yourself free and you tumble back through the doorway, and you see your parents dead on the cobblestones of Waterdeep as the city burns around. And from the sky, you hear horrendous, terrifying laughter. Laughter of the voices of every villain you ever faced in Waterdeep. And that's your nightmare.
Right.
Nyx and Penny, anything you're doing on watch?
I'm gonna start carving little wooden figurines
Okay,
because I can.
great.
Nyx, have you always carved?
No, I just kind of felt like I could do it now.
Oh.
Um,
On the day we go to Ravenloft, we are literally on our way to the worst nightmares ever, and you are carving little wooden figurines. You decided today that you could do that.
do you think it's connected?
That's not where I was going with that. I was more so going that was just a strange thing to do. It was a weird thing to do, but yeah, sure, it could
Honestly,
be.
I don't really take too much time to think about these things, but maybe it's like my subconscious being like, you need to distract yourself from
Oh, well,
what you're about to see.
that is true.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want me to make you anything?
Yeah. Could you make me either a little frog or a little cat
Sure.
with a hat? Yeah.
What if I make
Tomothy. Tomothy will
cat-
be the name.
like a cat head and then a frog head coming out
Oh.
of a hat? Like they're sharing the hat.
No. One or the
Okay.
other.
Okay.
It's terrifying.
I'm not like they are the same. I'm not I was at first thinking they're the same,
Like a frog in a
Unit,
cat's body
but
wearing a hat.
now I'm just thinking they're both wearing the hat.
No.
Separate creatures sharing hat.
You know what? Just give me a cat and a hat. I don't want the frog
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
How big of a figurine are you trying
It's
to
like
carve?
That
Like
big.
that big? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and make a wood carver's tools check for me.
Wood carver tools.
Oh, that's a natural one.
Oh no!
She
This is-
grabs like an
This is
axle
the
of
this
the
is
cart.
the first this is the first thing you're carving, and it's misshapen, and you're like,
You know what? I'm gonna give me. This was my practice round. I've never actually done this before, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on it.
Okay.
I'm
Sure.
gonna work on it. This is this doesn't look like anything. So I'm gonna try that again. I will make you a cat wearing a hat figurine. I promise.
Okay.
great.
Great.
It's about time for the second of 3 watches. Who's taking over?
Everyone that's not near Nyx.
What was-
I can.
okay.
Oh, we're doing
Artemis.
3 watches.
I'll take it.
Great. Yeah, Artemis, you take over. Anything you're doing, or just going?
I'm gonna read a little bit, just skim my dad's journal, some of the other things that we picked up, just kind of reminding myself of the puzzle pieces. And then after I'm done with that, just kind of pull out my, what do I play? Mandolin,
Mm.
lute. Yeah, pull out the little mandolin and just try to think about more positive thoughts than this place is giving, and just see what little tune comes out of that. Just tinkering, basically.
Yeah. You tinker, play a nice little tune. Go ahead and make a performance check for me.
19.
19. Milo says, "You're pretty good with that thing. Nice little tune. Anything in particular, or just
Just trying to center myself a little bit.
I get it. It's a lot for first timers.
Sure.
I've lived in Ravenloft my whole life. I've lived in this community my whole life, and this community
sure.
has gone in and out of the mists of Ravenloft my whole life. So it's easy to forget that many people, the place they come from is all they have ever known.
Yeah. It's good to see the world, I guess. Or all the worlds. I
Yeah.
don't know how it works, really.
I don't know how it works for, others. For us, sometimes we end up on totally different worlds traveling through the mists. We've been to your
Cool.
world, Toril, of course, but we've been other places. We've been to Eberron, we've been to Orth, been to
Honestly,
Exandria, we've been to lots
You could
of
make
different
up
places.
any name right now, and I would believe you, because I know very little between you and me. It's these goons that, well, one of the goons that stayed behind, actually, she knew the most stuff.
Well, don't worry. You guys will be okay. Trust me. I've met you before.
That's true. So we know that we're okay until we meet you again, right?
Well, don't take unnecessary risks. Time can change.
Ah,
But if you stick with what you did that led you to meet us last time we met you, you should be fine.
Last time.
Right.
All right.
Great. And then last watch, Bowmin. I know you said you would take that over. Anything for your watch?
Is Milo still driving?
Yeah, Milo's is still driving.
Bowman's just gonna go up. Do Vistani drink?
Yeah, man.
All right. Bowman reaches into his portable hole and just takes out a brown liquid bottle, opens the cork and sniffs it. I think this is bourbon.
All right, I'll drink anything.
And we just drink until we get there.
Great. You all wake up after, a long rest, so you can all click that nice long rest button on your character
Thank
sheet.
goodness.
As you wake up, still thick mist all around you, but the mist slowly thins and dissipates, and you find yourselves trundling down a rolling country road in quiet moors. The air here is cold and damp, and bands of fog perpetually lie in the dips and valleys of this wet land. As you make your way down the road, you can see the occasional large country estate surrounded by farmland, and out of the corners of your eyes, you think you see an occasional figure standing out in the distance or in the mists, but every time you turn to look, there's nothing there. Before long, find yourselves heading down the hill. A cold wind blows in from ahead of you, bringing the familiar scent of salty sea air. The town of Mordent appears before you. Even from this distance, you can hear the rhythmic sounds of the sea crashing against the cliffs of the harbor. This quaint town is filled with mainly wooden abodes and structures, mostly small, though there are a collection of larger and grander manor homes clustered at the edge of town, with steep gabled roofs. Uncountable trails of smoke drift lazily from chimneys into the cold gray sky. As you arrive at the edge of town, the Vistani pull off the side of the road and begin the work of setting up camp. And you are officially in Mordent. And I am going to send a picture of the map to the group chat.
Wow.
Map.
That's right.
Wow.
Can we get off the cart now? Like, is it okay?
Yes. Go ahead, debark. Grandfather will be here. Will be along shortly, I'm sure, to get you set up with what you need. Oh, here it is.
I know
Gingerly.
I know they don't take talents here. Did we ever find out what type of currency they actually took? Because I would hope
Any gold
We
or
did.
silver or copper coinage is accepted in this in anywhere in Ravenloft, really. And gems are always of value to people.
Oh yeah.
Milos gets down, starts undoing the girdles and reins from his horses to start, feeds them. A lot of the drivers are pretty tired and are pretty quickly pitching tents. Milos yawns pretty widely himself, because he's been trundling through the night. It is morning here in Mordenshire, as best as you all can tell. As Milos begins getting things squared away so that he can lie down and sleep, Hyskosa emerges from one of the other carts and makes his way over to where you all are gathered around Milos's cart. He says, good, my friends, good to see you all. How was your first journey into the mists, huh?
Not that bad.
Cold.
Not really a fan of it.
Well, you'll get used to it, I'm sure. Now, I've been trying to consult my records and my memories about where we have met before. I tend to have a pretty good memory. I don't actually remember the place that we met.
Hmm.
Oh, good.
And that's a little odd. But I know you did not arrive there with us. So,
Oh, we might know exactly where we met you.
well,
But we don't know where it is.
well,
We know where, but not where.
well, this is why I have brought you specifically here to Mordent. Mordentshire is the home of the famous Dr. Rudolf van Richten. The man is a brilliant scholar and monster hunter, and he actually lives here in Mordentshire, running the local herbalist shop. Dr. Van Richten has spent his life traveling the mists of Ravenloft, learning all sorts of lore about the monsters and beings that live in these lands. And so, if anyone can help get you on the right path and figure out where you need to go, it is him. And if he doesn't know specifically where you need to go, then I can almost guarantee he knows who might. So,
Wonderful.
this is why I brought you here to Mordent. His herbalist shop, if you head into town, just follow this sort of main road, you'll get to the town square, and it's just off the square down one of the other lanes here in town. You should find it fairly easily. It's one of the main thoroughfares. So that is the first thing. The second thing, I noticed something as we were traveling through the mists. Something was trying to pull us off course. And I think I know what it is.
Oh,
Mr. Bowmin, I believe that you have in your possession a mist talisman.
I do.
Yes, a mist talisman is a item that if you have it on your person and focus on it as you travel through the mists, it can deliver you to the destination that mist talisman is associated with, assuming the borders of the domain are open. Sometimes the borders of certain domains can be closed, and even with a mist talisman, you just cannot leave while the borders are closed. But, you know, every domain kind of has different mist talismans, and they're not things that are specifically made to be a mist talisman, at least not usually, but they're often things that are tied to the domain that you're going to. So, Bowmin, do you have anything with you from a realm of Ravenloft that originated from one of the realms of Ravenloft that could be it?
I'll have to check my pack and
Okay.
see.
I thought it would be important to inform you all of that. But anyway, thank you, my friends, for saving Ludmila for us. You're, of course, welcome to stay for breakfast if you want, or, you know, we'll be in town for a few days, so feel free to stop by, but we will need to be going on our own way, and I'm sure you all will have destinations of your own to make your way towards as well. So,
Do you want us to stay here to wait for your grandfather?
no, this is High Scotia speaking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Fantastic.
Sorry. Their voices are basically the same, so
Well, they're related.
they are related.
Or are they the same person? Try and travel.
Keeps putting on different
Whoa.
hats. Great. So, you are here in Wordenshire. What are y'all doing?
Well, I suppose we should
Probably go.
see what's what.
Yeah, I would suggest we probably find a map of some sort.
Or a tavern.
Or
Meet
the
people.
doctor.
Well, maybe
All
someone
right.
in the tavern can point
We
us in the
all have
direction.
things we can do. Penny and somebody else can go find the doctor.
Oof.
You know what? That's a great idea. Why don't I go find the doctor? I'll go right now. I can probably just do it myself.
No,
We shouldn't be
I'm gonna
going.
start walking.
We
I'm
should be
gonna-
staying together.
scurry.
Yeah. The rest of you follow after Penny as she stalks her way into town. As you make your way into Mordenshire, this small community this is the largest town in Mordent. It's not that big. But you make your way through the stone streets of the city. Most of the people here are bundled up against the cold, wet wind coming in off the harbor. Just sort of making their way about their daily business. You see people making deliveries. Some people are heading down towards the docks with all sorts of fishing gear. And people just seem to be generally going about their business. Very occasionally, people glance sidelong at you all as you pass by as strangers entering into their community for the first time. But no one, stops you. No one says anything to you. No one bothers you as you make your way into the center of town.
Do we stand out color palette wise? Is
Well,
everyone just drab and terrible?
Most of you are already wearing muted colors. Artemis, I think probably wears a little bit brighter colors than everybody else, but not so maybe a little bit, but not that much.
Okay.
You see.
I did tone it down after we got home.
You did tone it down, so it's
A
not
lot of Royal
it's not
Navies now.
it's
Deep
much
navies.
darker blues than you used to wear. So no one's really paying any of you too much mind, particularly you, Bowmin. Your heavy, long gray coat, your basic cap, you look like you could be any of these fishermen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Pretty
Ben,
much, your thick beard, you look like an old sailor or fisherman or something. No one's gonna give you a second glance as you're making your way through town.
That's what Bowmin was going for.
Eventually you find your way to Van Richten's herbalist shop. And I actually do have a picture of that in here as well. Also sent to the chat.
Glaston.
Go. Yeah, you see, there's a collection of potted plants and herbs outside this shop. Signed, it says herbalist, and then Dr. Rudolph Van Richten underneath. Lights are on in the shop, and you see, through the glazed windows of the shop, you see there are two people in there right now, both women. As you open the door and go in, I assume you're opening the door and going into the shop. I guess I shouldn't just assume that. But
Yeah.
you open the door and
Yes.
go into the shop. Behind the counter is a middle-aged, bespectacled human woman with light skin and dark hair pulled into a bun. And she is speaking to a very pale elven woman. The woman working behind the counter is saying, "No, dear, I haven't seen him. Dr. Van Richten got back a week ago, but then, he went to the abandoned Ainsley Manor 2 days ago, and I haven't seen him since." Kyra, would you please describe and introduce your new character, the elven woman across the counter from this human woman?
Yeah, so across from the saleswoman is a fairly tall, extremely pale. Her skin is so pale it's almost gray. Elven looking woman. She has white hair that is braided into a ponytail. That has one streak of blue going through it and a streak of dark black hair running through it. She is wearing a dark cloak and a long gown. Yeah, as you enter, she kind of turns and looks at you, and you can see that she has some pretty significant scars all over her body that are bluish in color. She turns back to the woman and says, "Well, so if he was traveling, did he say when he would be back?"
Well, that's just the thing, dearie. He just got back, about a week ago. He'd been gone for last 2-3 years working on his new book. And then, the rumors about the Ainsley Manor, the haunting there has gotten worse recently, and he took it upon himself to go investigate 2 days ago, and he hasn't been back. I'm frankly a little worried.
Yes. 2 days is, it's a bit longer than he's usually away for.
Well, at least when he's in town, it's longer than he's usually away for. But I'm sorry, Elina, dear. Can I? Hi there, folks. So sorry, I didn't. Just having a bit of a conversation with an old friend. What can I help you with?
Oh, I for sure picked up random things in the store while we were waiting. Just like exploring.
We were hoping to talk to Dr. Van Richten.
I see. Unfortunately, Dr. Van Richten is out right now.
When will he be
That's
back?
hilarious.
We came all this way.
Like, you don't even really understand.
All right, guys, he's like, he could be like on lunch.
No, he's
He's on lunch. Well, we're here.
How dare he?
it's a little early in the day for lunch for the
Oh, sorry. What time is it?
Breakfast.
You find like a cuckoo clock on one wall, and it says that
Fitting.
it's 10 a.m.
Oh, it's brunch time.
You're all looking for Van Richten?
Yeah, we have
Oh,
some questions.
Do we have an ETA on when he'll be back?
Well,
Is he on first lunch? Is that what it is?
Second breakfast.
he's out on a ghost haunting mission. So
haunting.
haunting. So I was going to head out and try to look for him. If you're not too scared, I'm
Oh,
happy
Well-
to have the company.
we're not scared of most things.
That's a lie.
I'm afraid.
Some of us are scared of most things, but some of us are not scared
Some
of
of us
most things.
have crippling anxiety. So this is like a thing, like he's not coming back. He's missing sort of thing. That's why you're going to look for him.
Well, it is rather odd that he would be gone for so long just on a haunting expedition.
Of course! The day we get here, he's mysteriously gone in a haunted mansion, and we gotta go find him. Of course. This place
Penny,
already.
sometimes
Penny,
things
are
are a
you-
little difficult.
I'm just saying, isn't it kind of funny that this always happens to us? Nothing is ever easy for us.
Well,
I'm sorry. She was like abandoned
going
as a
through a
child,
lot
and
right
it just
now.
happened again.
The next person to bring that up, I will shoot in the foot. I don't even care.
She's usually much more cordial than this.
at least she's giving you a warning.
that is true.
You know that the doctor Rick, you know the doctor.
Yes. We're friends, but it's-
Insight check. What does that friends mean?
Insight check.
How close are friends? Insight 18.
we're friends.
Right. Okay.
Where was he ghost hunting?
I
How far?
I'm Elina, by the way, and
Oh,
Oh yeah,
We
we're
didn't do that, did we?
In tandem.
we're not. Hey, Artemis, can I pull your side for a second? Hey, I don't think the name is going well. We're in a new realm.
What do you mean the
Um,
name isn't going well? It
Uh,
was a beautiful name. It is a beautiful name.
It was kind of forced at the moment, and
Oh,
so we're just gonna
it was
go.
very natural.
We're just gonna walk away from that. We're a traveling Bowmin turns. We're a traveling party right now. We're looking for Van Richten, so
I'm Nyx, by the way.
Penny.
Jinarra.
lovely to meet you all.
oh, Bowmin.
Random. It doesn't seem forced.
That's Artemis.
Yes, Artemis Brightshield.
The woman behind the counter says,
Lord. Artemis
Um,
Brightshield.
so if I'm getting all this right, my name's Beatrice Polk. I look after the shop when Van Richten's out.
So
and,
what was your name?
Beatrice Polk.
Oh. I thought I heard something else.
Polka.
Wonderful. Wonderful to meet you.
Yes.
I heard Beatrix Potter.
So Van Richten has gone missing up at the Ainsley Village Manor. The Ainsleys are one of the aristocratic families here in Mordent.
Oh.
And like all the aristocrats in the realm, they keep a manor house sort of on the edge of town for when they're in the village doing business. But the Ainsleys abandoned their manor house about 5 years ago now. And at first nobody really noticed much of anything, but the haunting there has started to affect, well, everyone walking by. I mean, you get bad feeling, and pretty much. I mean, look, just about everybody in Mordent has had a run-in with a ghost here or there in their time. I'm guessing you're new here, so lots of ghosts here in Mordent. So everyone here in Mordent's had a run-in or two with a ghost, but usually it's nothing too bad. But the spirits that seem to have inhabited the Ainsley house seem particularly agitated and seem to bother passers-by and other spirits nearby. And I don't know what happened at the house. No one really does, but I assume it had something to do with haunting. It's gotten, a few people have even gone missing in the house. And so Dr. Van Richten decided when he got back, he heard that it had gotten worse recently and decided to check it out himself. And that's where he's gone missing. He's been gone 2 days, which shouldn't take him that long to go check out a haunted house. So I'm a little worried about him, but not equipped to go handle a badly haunted abode.
And you were on your way, Elina, was it?
Yeah.
You were on your way to handle this abode?
Well, not exactly. I was just looking for the doctor.
Oh,
So
But
you're looking for him too, and
Yeah.
just you're gonna just go find him. You were gonna go find him by yourself?
well, I've dealt with hauntings in the past before.
oh, wonderful.
Maybe
Maybe it is smart if we could we come with you then? Would that be all right?
I mean, we're both going to look for the doctor, so it just
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we are happy to have an extra pair of hands. What do your hands specialize in, though?
What?
What?
Did you just
Nyx,
say?
Nyx,
Nyx,
Nyx
Someone
just said.
just
Excuse
My
me a
hands
moment.
specialize in things. Do your
Sorry,
like I can
I just
make
need to talk to
stuff.
my friend.
What those
I-
hands do.
Can we have a
I
group
just need to talk to
meeting
my
real
friend
quick
just a moment.
to be real people?
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
Guys, I really don't understand
Nyx.
why you are making such a big deal about this.
Nyx, do you and I need to do you need lessons? On
I mean,
getting to
you
know
could
someone.
teach me a lot, Artemis, but I feel like you guys are making a bigger deal out of this than I don't
Teach me a lot, she said. Noted. All right.
you know how to play instruments. Artemis.
Nyx!
Okay, so I'm really bad at it right now, but can I attempt to make you a flute or something?
Absolutely.
Cool.
100%.
Okay.
1000%.
I'm making
we're
things.
in a herbology or in a herbalist shop.
I'm
Like,
gonna turn
Alina.
to Beatrice. Would anything here be helpful against ghosts? Me and my friends, we fought lots of things, but we actually have not fought ghosts before.
Well,
Mom's here.
if you want to go upstairs to the doctor's study, I'm sure there are books in there about ghost hunting. As
Hey,
long as
whose
Elina's
boundary rules
willing
in
to
this shop?
supervise you.
Who's supervising us?
Elina,
Oh,
friend of the doctor, so I wouldn't want
friend of the doctor.
someone else going into his stuff without, someone keeping an eye on you. I've just met you all now.
Yeah, it's fair.
Hmm.
Let's go find some stuff.
So,
Great.
Elina, what do you do? How are you gonna fight things potentially?
How am I supposed to answer this?
I don't know
I
if
do.
you're magic or
look,
not.
to not beat around the bush, which I feel like Nyx is doing. I feel like what Nyx is asking is that like we kind of are like an established party and like we fight things for like our life. That's like what we do. So I guess we're trying to figure out like, are we gonna have to carry you in this situation? Like, what are we looking at here? Do you have experience? Do you have references that we can talk to?
Can you kill things? Do you kill things with magic or do you kill things with weapons?
Or not kill
Or
things.
both.
Yeah, let's
Or
not
both.
lead with the murder because we don't do that at
We
all.
we do that.
We do
Bowmin.
that.
This is a very aggressive form of questioning.
Hello, welcome to our group.
We're accepting new applicants. Well, we recently
Stop.
This is the interview process.
This is
Elina
way
can
out.
answer however she wants to answer, but Kyra, please feel free to tell everybody else what class you are.
Or not.
Okay. I think I have. All right. So, Elina is going to like reach down to her side and pull out like an amulet that has like a large white stone in the middle. And then let's see. Can I do this? Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm excited to see what you do.
I'm going to cast Calm Emotions
Wow,
That's a
that's
good
useful.
idea.
around me.
Ooh.
is that a save?
If
It's a
you want to
charis-
resist it,
charisma save if you want to resist. And just try to like calm everyone, including myself, because it's overwhelming.
yeah.
Bowmin got a 32.
Is it obvious what you're doing?
As I am pulling out the amulet, I am like praying to it as the spell is cast. Elina is a cleric.
Oh, love that.
It is handy.
Penny got a 19
I got an 11.
to resist that.
Okay, the save was a 15, so anything.
Yeah, 17. But I'll act like it worked.
Great.
Neat.
That was beautiful.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yes, you demonstrated what those hands do. Yes.
Oh my God, please, for the love of God, no one ever say that again.
Well, I think we should be. Van Richten probably needs our help.
Yeah. Do you
Right.
know where he keeps his stuff?
Oh, yeah, just upstairs.
Yeah. So you all are going to Van Richten's study then? First? Great. You make your
Give it a
way
look.
up the stairs. You go you're left behind the counter and make your way up the stairs into Van Richten's home above the herbalist shop. There's several rooms here. There's a small sitting room. A couple of bedrooms, one clearly master bedroom, and then a handful of guest bedrooms, sort of a very small like kitchen area, but the largest room of the house is dedicated to what is clearly a study / library of some kind. It's not a remarkably large room, but it is the largest room of the abode. So it's a decently sized room, walls completely packed with bookshelves loaded with all kinds of books, large desk in the center of the room laden with writing implements and books and tomes and notes, and also a stack of unopened letters sitting on the side of the desk as well. You are now in Van Richten's study.
I kind of want to casually walk over by the letters and see who, like, where they're addressed from.
Yeah, you go over to the stack of letters and you see a whole assortment of different people writing to Van Richten. You see a couple letters from an Alice and Jennifer Weathermay Foxgrove.
All hyphenated.
Weathermay Foxgrove is hyphenated, yes.
Love
They
the queens.
the outside of the envelope is addressed from Mordentshire. There is a letter. There are a couple letters from someone named Ez de Avenir, writing from different letters with different, like she's got like 2 or 3 letters in this pile. And they're all addressed from different places. One from a town called Rivalis, one from a town called hold on 1 second. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. One from a town called O'Dare. So couple different towns and locations from some of these, and some of these don't match any name on the Mordent map you were helpfully given by the Vistani. So as the Avenir, somebody who wrote some letters, you find some letters from Arthur, Alanic Ray and Dr. Arthur Sedgwick, writing from a place called Portalucine. So yeah, lots of different people writing to Dr. Van Richten. If you want to break into any of the letters, you can, but
I'm not going to commit a federal crime in front of this person that we just met.
sure, fair enough. What's everyone else doing?
I would like to just kind of go through his desk.
Okay, yeah, make an investigation check.
Oh my god.
And I'll help because I'm right there.
Thank you. Okay. Non-natural 20 from a natural 1.
Okay, well, there you go. A couple of the drawers are locked, but opening the drawers that aren't locked, you find pretty standard stuff that you would find in a desk. Extra paper, extra pens and quills and ink. You find 3 copper pieces of loose coins at the back of a drawer.
Our first money.
Your first money. Just sort of standard desk stuff in the unlocked drawers.
Miss Elina, do you have an idea where we could look for ghosts? Or you've been here before, I presume, as the doctor's companion.
Don't say it like that.
No, just friends.
Of course, yes, of course.
So you don't go traveling around with
Was
her?
there a bookshelf somewhere that
Yeah,
had,
there's lots of bookshelves in here. You would know. I mean, you've been in here before.
Roughly?
You would know roughly where stuff on ghosts would be.
I would check those shelves over there.
I'll check those shelves over there. Any
Right.
ghosts?
Go ahead, make an investigation check with advantage.
Ooh, one pop.
20 and a 2. Investigation, 25.
25. Yeah, easy enough. You are able to find a book on ghosts and other incorporeal haunts.
Yeah, ghosts and other incorporeal haunts.
Yeah. So, browsing through the book, you learn, generally speaking, ghosts, shades, specters, poltergeists, that sort of whole family of undead, are generally the spirits of people who died with intense, unfinished business. Now, you do find scrawled in the margins in Van Richten's cramped and slightly slanted handwriting that in Mordent, all spirits become ghosts. Everyone who
Interesting.
dies in Mordent becomes a ghost.
Interesting.
But in margins and on extra pages, and it looks like this is a book that Van Richten published, like it was written by him, and he has annotated his own copy of his own book with extra information about Mordent. But he writes about the fact that in Mordent, every spirit that dies becomes a ghost. Most of those spirits are fairly harmless. They'll sort of wander off into the moors, or occasionally will get drawn in by Wilfred Godefroy, who lives on the estate of Griffin Hill. But and every once in a while, some mage has some scheme that also draws in some ghosts. But generally speaking, the ghosts of Mordent don't cause too much trouble, but beyond, the occasional mischievous haunting here or there. But there are instances, there's pretty much everybody in Mordent knows someone who has dealt with a more malicious haunting, a more difficult and dangerous haunt. This seems to happen when there are particularly tragic circumstances regarding someone's death. And this continues on, mix of stuff about Mordent specific and just generally ghosts. Lots of stuff about unfinished business, and usually the way to end a haunting is not just to defeat the ghost, but to in some way resolve their unfinished business. That's the only way to truly, resolve a haunting. And even in Mordent, resolving unfinished business doesn't make the spirit leave Mordent. Like, that spirit will still be somewhere in Mordent, but it does usually resolve any malicious hauntings. It makes the spirit more peaceful once their unfinished business is solved.
Do you think it would be all right if we just took this with us and gave it to him when we met with the doctor? Just for reference.
I don't think he would have a problem with that.
Great. Mr. Bowmin, your hole, please. Sorry.
I
Could
beg
you
your
hold on to
pardon.
this? Could you just hold on to this?
Yeah.
Wow, we are off our game.
We're all over.
While we're here, Bowmin wants to look for like a atlas of of Ravenloft, if there is one here.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check for me. If you ask Elina for help, I'll give you advantage. But I know Bowmin is
No.
sometimes cagey about that.
You know what? I'll just figure this out myself. Thank you very much. That was a 17.
17. Okay. Yeah, you're able to find a book titled Van Richten's Travels in the Domains of Dread.
Too long.
Great. I just grab it, not gonna look at it, and then I'm just gonna pocket it.
Okay.
Right? And the manor that he's at, Ainsley? That's what we think.
Ainsley.
Would I
Alright.
have been familiar with where that's located?
I'll say that Beatrice can easily give you directions to it.
All right. Well,
Great. Are you all heading
off
out?
we go.
Great.
You all think you have enough to go on? Enough of an idea how to do both? I suppose it's a tricky matter sometimes.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
we
to
do.
know.
We
We're
always
not
do.
normally plan ahead people.
Yeah, we're not big planners. Are you a planner?
Well, I mean, it depends on the situation.
Sure.
Yeah, us too.
With that, you all head out and start making your way across town to the Ainsley Village Banner. You all, make your way towards the Ainsley Village Manor. At the edge of the village are the manor homes of the aristocrats of Mordent. None of these are their primary residences, as evidenced by the much larger estates you rode past on your way into town, but these village manors are impressive nonetheless. One, however, stands out of place. The 3-story manor home belonging to the Ainsley family stands clearly abandoned atop a short rise. The lawn is overgrown and dying, the trees unkempt, with bare branches desperately reaching out towards the cold sun overhead. The metal fence around the estate is old and rusty, and the gate groans in the wind. Someone left it unlatched. The house itself was probably once quite grand, with its many chimneys and steep gabled roofs. But now the manor house is weather-beaten, its walls veined with ivy, and what little exposed paint you can see is faded and peeling. A porch girds the house, its sagging roof sheltering a stout front door. And I would also like everybody to make me a quick perception check.
$22.
22. Anybody else get a 22 or higher?
25.
25. Okay. So Artemis and Elina, then, the two of you, very faintly hear, no, it must be a trick of the wind. Certainly you couldn't be hearing sobbing.
It's probably just Penny. Think to myself. How long is the walk from the gate up to the door? Just a long walk or just a front yard?
It's a pretty sizable yard. I mean, it's still, it's still within the village limits, so it's not like a huge sprawling estate, but it's a pretty big yard, pretty big grounds around this manor. But it doesn't take too long to get up to the porch, the porch is quite large. It wraps around sort of two sides of the house. The sort of path up from the gate to the porch is pretty overgrown with tall, browning grasses. But you're easily enough able to make your way up to the porch of the house itself.
Is there anything we need to do for ourselves before we... Right, we probably shouldn't come in aggressive in case there are, ghosts. But we're just looking for someone. But anything we need to do?
Are we worried about possession? Is that
Well,
something?
that wasn't
I
until
wasn't.
now.
Is that something that we should can't we close our energy off to unwanted beings coming into us?
You would know from reading Van Richten's ghost book that possession is certain incorporeal spirits and possess living beings. But it's not always successful. There are some things that can be done to prevent it, but those are usually like actual magic and not just hoping for good vibes.
Yeah, how do we
Can we close our
ourselves?
chakras? So
Everyone, and breathe in and breathe out. So we just have to hope that we don't get possessed.
I'm
Okay.
gonna.
Don't worry, if you
Hopefully,
get possessed, I'll slap it out of you, Penny. Don't worry.
God.
And you can do the same to me.
You guys can
Oh,
go
Artemis, are you
ahead and-
possessed right now?
I'm gonna
No.
knock on the door.
Sure. As you knock on the door, by the way, you guys can go ahead and load up the virtual tabletop if you wish. I have the first floor of the map pulled up,
Oh, so we can see. Smart.
so you can see it. Let me just activate it for you. You don't have to, but and we will still take it one room at a time. I don't want everybody like running off in a bunch of random directions because that's very difficult for me to keep track of as DM on a map. But just so you know, I can move your tokens into whatever room you're currently examining. But are you so Elina? You go up and knock on the front door. It's a loud knock. You don't hear any response, except still feel like you're hearing that sobbing sound.
Can I check to see if the door is unlocked?
You turn the doorknob and it creaks open.
Do we call out? Like say
I-
hello?
I think we do say like, excuse us.
Sure. Hello. Is anyone here? Sorry to bother. Looking for Dr. What's his name?
Van Richten.
Richten.
Dr. Van Richten? Lord Brightshield and friends.
Do you all enter the foyer?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and move your tokens in there.
Oh wait, that's
Or
wrong.
some of you have already moved them, so I'll just fix it. It's fine.
You guys went through walls.
Being difficult. Okay.
You able to end my stun condition?
I tried. I couldn't. I don't know. Let me try deleting your token and putting it back in.
We lost Artie.
Nope, you're still stunned.
Alright, cool.
you're stunned.
It might just be a
Forever
bug.
Anyway, as you enter this room, the foyer of the house, peeling wallpaper and a musty scent cling to the walls of this spacious foyer. A curving staircase rises from the wood floor to a balcony above, keeping its distance from a darkened chandelier. Doors lead in pretty much every direction, and at the room's center, a sculpture of an eagle with antlers perches atop a marble pedestal. And the room, everything in the room is coated with a thick layer of dust, and choked with cobwebs.
Two things.
Really quick before your two things. Also, at this point, everyone can hear the sobbing.
Oh,
It seems to be coming from all around you. There's no direction. It just seems like this sobbing sound is a feature of the house.
That's fun.
All
Don't love
right.
that.
What were your two things, Artemis?
Oh God. Okay, first off, This is the front door. We're looking for someone. Everything's dusty. Are there footprints on the floor?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
27.
27. There are, in fact, footprints on the dusty floor. As you examine them, the front doors slam shut.
Oh. I want to try the doors, see if they open.
They do not open.
Oh no, no.
Can I try the doors and see if they will unlock?
Go ahead and make a thieves tools check for me. Artemis, you find you said a 27.
Yeah.
So you find several different tracks, but with the 27, you can tell which ones are the most recent. The most recent footprints lead out of this room to the if up is north, they lead out of this room to the east. But there are older sets of footprints going out of the other doors in this room as well. Nyx, what'd you get on your thieves
all of
tools
them?
check on the exterior door?
27.
27. The door does not unlock.
Fool!
Okay, I'll point out the foot information to everyone.
Yeah.
But this, I'm gonna check out this. You said eagle?
Yeah.
Eagle with antlers.
Yeah, it's on this tall marble pedestal, this stone statue of not stone, sorry, it's bronze. This bronze statue of the pillar is stone, the pedestal is stone. And then on top of it is this bronze statue of an eagle with antlers.
Is there any familiar pose, inscription, anything familiar about this eagle part
Go ahead
whatsoever?
and make an investigation check for me.
Investigation. 20.
20. You can't find any particular inscription anywhere on the pedestal or on the eagle as far as you can tell. It's just posed in like a general, majestic eagle in action pose. Make your choice between nature or arcana.
Oh god, neither's gonna be good. We will go nature because Artemis doesn't know anything about the arcane. 16.
16. I'll say that's good enough. You would actually know that this is a representation of a specific creature called a periton. They are very rare back in the material plane. But most people have heard of them. They're kind of like, how in the real world, right, we've got the classic cryptozoological animals that some people swear exist,
Mothman.
What do you mean?
I was thinking more the jackalope, a jackrabbit with antlers.
Sure.
This is basically in that same vein, except definitely real.
Just like the jackalope. Go on.
So that door's locked, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the exterior doors are locked and could not be opened.
And someone's still crying.
Yes.
Well, we must continue.
Where did the footprints go?
That way and also that way, but less new into that way.
Okay.
let's go
So
that way.
more new, let's go that way.
Okay. You guys proceed to the east then into the sitting room there. Yeah, you are in a pretty plain sitting room. I mean, there's a nice fireplace in here, several chairs, couple tables, but nothing particularly remarkable in this room. and several doors leading out. And the footprints in here seem to lead through the northern door.
Bowmin wants to check the seat cushions for any gold pieces that may have fallen out.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
We literally have thousands of talents. Oh, I guess gold. Yeah, that's true.
You literally have
Investigation.
thousands of dollars of paper money that no one will take.
I know.
Like
Bowmin
traveling
got
to
an
another
18.
country.
A what? A 19?
18.
18. Yeah, we'll say you managed to scrounge together 10 gold pieces, picking through the seat cushions.
Does the crying
the-
seem any louder or quieter in here?
It does not. It's just the same general volume. Now, actually, Nyx,
Yeah.
as you all are sort of examining the room, looking around, Nyx, you blink your eyes and you see suddenly the room as it must have stood when this place was still inhabited. Fire crackles in the fireplace. Standing in front of the fireplace is a tall, stern-looking man, his hand on the mantle. Behind, a handsome younger man, probably in his late teens or early 20s, pleads with the older man. Damn your traditions, father! I love her! The older man whips around, thrusting his finger in the younger man's face and says, no son of mine is marrying some common whore! And the next time you blink, the vision is gone, and you are once again in an abandoned room.
Did you guys see and or hear anything?
Crying.
Yeah, it's crying.
Same. Just making sure that we're all.
North. Should we go where the footprints?
Yes.
Right.
Sure. Do we think it's just a good idea to? I'm just gonna give myself a little armor.
Sure.
Oh,
You guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Do we
gonna.
want to hang out in here for 10 minutes quick? We could do a quick speech about how, we're not going to
Hope everything's
die
gonna
in
be
this
okay, yeah.
haunted mansion and such.
Yeah, easy enough. You guys can take 10 minutes while Bowmin is searching the couch cushions for money. And
Julio, 13 temporary hit points.
there you go. Everybody
Like-
can add your 13 temporary hit points.
I like this scene where Jinarra is doing a rousing speech telling how we're gonna be, doing a great job, and Bowman's just flipping chairs upside down and shaking the couch cushions.
On brand.
And Nyx is seeing things.
Yep.
As you guys step out into this long hallway, once again, everything covered in dust. You see that the footprints in the hallway seem to go into the room on the immediate right, and then come back out of that room and go further down the hall into the other door on the right. I will also say, Artemis, since you are the one who's been really tracking these footprints with very high check to do so, notice that there seem to be more footprints going towards the further door, as if someone else left that room with the original set of footprints. And this other set of footprints, it's hard to tell exactly how many people were involved in this second trail of footprints leading out of the room immediately on the right. But they do not look like normal footprints. They are
That's mean.
longer than usual. and were clearly made by bare feet.
Uh-oh.
Like bare or like no shoes?
Like no shoes.
No shoes.
No shoes.
I like the
and
former better.
I
no,
thought it
no.
wasn't fair.
No, as in no shoes, but these are like long feet. Long,
I-
thin feet.
I'm just gonna like get the sword out
uh-huh.
and just like, can I see it? Can I peek open the door ever so slightly and just
into
get a
the
glimpse of
first
what's in
room
there?
or the second room?
Into the one that the more, the bear,
The second
bears were
set of
coming
rooms.
from.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you push open the door just a little bit, peeking into this room. This room is the kitchen. A rack previously suspended from the kitchen ceiling has crashed, crushing a table and scattering rusted pots and cooking implements. A sizable iron stove is built into the north wall, and you see several other doors out of here. And that's not the only thing you see. At one of the doors in the north wall, as you open this door, you hear a new sound. It's a new wailing. It's not the same as the sobbing that permeates the house, but it is clearly the sound of something crying, and something is probably the best description of the source of these noises. Scraping at one of the doors in the north wall are horrific, gaunt creatures of some kind, seeming to cry uncontrollably with deep, racking sobs. Their faces are scarred and bloody, scraped by long, sharp fingernails that have clearly tugged at their faces. Their eyes are sunken into their pale faces, their bloodshot, once human eyes still leaking an endless stream of tears. But these creatures cannot be human, for no human could wail like that. No human could be so thin. No human's limbs are so long and distended, right?
We've got a bit of a situation in here. There are entities trying to get in the door.
How many?
Just two. They've seen better days.
Easy.
Yep. Why don't you go and introduce yourself?
Okay. I mean,
I
we have to take care of it, right? Are we all in agreement? We need to.
Well, let's just find out what's.
I
Yeah,
don't know
let's
if-
try talk.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work, but we can try it. Artie, go.
Oh,
You're the
okay.
Can I
charmer.
say I was probably with Artie? I feel like I would have stuck with him and probably seen
Yeah,
peeked in also.
yeah, sure.
Am I going first?
Go for it.
Yes, I'll be right behind you. Right behind.
Let me, make those creatures appear on the.
No, yeah, I don't know if I'm over him.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh. Aw.
I like Jinarra's character backing up a little.
I know, I just didn't know where they were going to appear.
Jinarra, you enter the room. They don't seem to immediately react to you as they continue to try to scrape at this door.
Oh, it's safe. All right.
Can I
Hello
just,
there.
They turn and look.
Hi. Great to meet you.
They go back to scraping at the door.
are you
Oh,
trapped in
sad.
here?
It was a simple
Oh.
question.
Can we tell, like, no, never mind. That's silly. Right. Can I go to see the door that they're not
Yep.
scratching at?
Yeah, you open up that door. Just seems to be a pantry. Boxes and barrels in here.
All right.
No good foodstuffs. Actually, as you open the door, pretty horrible smell of long spoiled food comes out.
Oh.
Close the door again very quickly.
Bowman's gonna make his way into the room.
Okay.
He just wants to investigate these creatures a little bit more. See if he can figure out what the fuck they are.
Sure. Go ahead and make a
A what the fuck check?
say an Arcana check.
That was my dice bounced out of my box, so it's not a good sign. Oh, you know what? That wasn't too bad. That was a 16.
You have no clue what these things are, other than
10.
horrible.
Bowman's gonna try.
Oh, go ahead.
Bowman's gonna try to touch one.
As you reach out to touch one, it slaps your hand away, and they both seem to get aggressive towards you. And so, with that, let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh.
Also, in this room, the entire floor counts as difficult terrain because it is littered with debris and pots and pans. So
Nice. Clang, clang, bang.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let me go ahead and collect your initiatives. Nyx,
22.
Artemis,
24.
Jinarra,
23.
Bowmin,
19.
Penny,
22.
and Elina.
13.
Oh man.
High rollers this episode.
really.
Wow.
That's
I did
unheard
great.
of.
Okay. The initiative order is as follows: Artemis, then Jinarra, then Nyx, then Penny, then Bowmin, then Elina, then these creatures who
Maybe.
may
great, so
get
they
to
won't get a
do- Maybe
chance.
they'll get to do something. So top of the initiative order, Artemis, that is you. As you see Bowmin
Okay.
tries to touch one of these creatures, it like swipes out at him, and they still sobbing, but seem to be in an aggressive state.
And they're like advancing on my Mr. Bowman.
Yes.
All right. Like, hey, whoa now. Sword out, I will. Step forward just to give back up. And I guess we're just gonna try and fend them off a little bit. We're gonna cast Bane
Okay.
on the two of them, just first level. Just to hey, no. Stop that. Charisma save.
That is a natural one.
That's a failure.
So, and then the other one is a natural 20. Okay.
Success.
The dice taketh and the dice giveth back. I don't have a thing for Banes on here, but that's okay. We'll just go with the poisoned icon. Why not? There we go. Okay.
That one's baned. Okay. Yeah, and I'll get there. Yeah, that's my deal.
Great. Next up is Jinarra.
How are they acting after Bane? After that happened?
Still aggressive.
Yeah, I took the cop out way. Someone else is gonna have to hit first.
Well, this might be really dumb, but I'm going to try to heal the one closer to the door and just see if it reacts in a friendly manner when I do so.
Okay.
So I'm gonna heal it for 2.
Okay. I have a very important question for you. The healing thing that you're doing. What does the
Yes.
text say specifically in terms of what creatures you can target with it?
I have a 6d6 healing pool that resets when you finish a long rest. As a bonus action, I can heal one creature you see within 60 feet.
So it just says one creature. It doesn't say
One-
anything about the type of creature.
No.
Okay. You cast the healing magic. The one next to the door, bloody nails seem to grow slightly less bloody, but otherwise their temperament does not seem to have changed.
That's confusing.
I'm going to hold on. Where is it? Where's my new spell?
Maybe it will get to do something.
I'm going to cast comprehend languages on myself.
Okay.
Is it still just crying? Do I understand it saying anything? It's still just crying.
Seems to just be crying. They do
If
not
I
seem to
speak,
be
will it
speaking.
understand me?
If it is intelligent enough to understand language.
Okay. I may have wasted my turn, but I'm going to say, are you trapped here? Can we help you somehow?
They turn towards you. They're still sobbing, their heads cocked to the side. They seem confused, would be your best guess. But they
I'm
do
just
not
gonna-
seem to be less aggressive.
I'm just gonna use my movement because I'm pretty sure even with difficult terrain, Jinarra can get this far. Yeah, I'll double check just to make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she can. And I'm
Okay.
just going to see if their attention turns to me, and that'll be my turn.
One of their attentions turns, the other one stays focused on Bowmin. The one that Bowmin touched is focused on Bowmin.
Okay.
Nyx.
I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna use my new Eldritch Cannon ability. So I create this tiny little cannon. It's my action, and then bonus action, I'm gonna attempt to do Force Ballista.
Okay.
And make a spell attack roll on the one that just turned towards Jinarra.
Okay. That's the one that's feigned.
Yeah. That's a 16.
That hits.
Cool. And then can I use sneak attack?
On a spell? No.
But I had to roll to hit it.
On a spell attack roll, sneak attack does not. Sneak attack does not go off on spells.
Okay.
I'm sorry to inform you.
That's fine.
There may be some ways to make that happen, but not base at the very least.
So it takes 11 points of damage, and it gets pushed 5 feet away from the cannon.
Okay,
So I want to push it like into the fireplace.
yeah, easy enough. Slams into the fireplace. Takes an additional 3 bludgeoning damage.
The cannon can walk by itself.
That's true.
What?
How cute.
What's its name?
That's a great question. I gotta brainstorm this.
How many legs? What does this cannon look like?
It's just like how a cannon would have like 2 wheels on either side. That's where its legs are.
It's got
like
got
two
two
tottering
humanoid
legs.
feet.
And it's tiny.
And it's tiny. Like it fits in your hand.
Mm.
Oh,
Right.
just
Penny,
like Nyx.
that's you.
I'm gonna move 10, 20, 30. And then can I try to reach and open the door?
Sure. As you reach to try to open the door, it seems like you push it a little bit and it opens a tiny bit, but there seems to be something behind the door keeping it from opening all the way.
Okay.
And you've gotten the attention of the one that was focused on Bowmin.
I don't still have an action, right?
No, object interaction is an action.
Right. Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. Bowmin, that's you.
Bowmin is going to turn to Elina and just say, "Are these souls worth saving, or do we just smash?"
Do I know?
All right, I'll do what I do best then. Bowman's going to take his crowbar.
Want
And-
Bowman to smash the door so bad, see if there's something behind it.
Bowman's he's gonna do like a golf swing
Uh-huh.
essentially to this one.
Okay, yeah, go for
Gotta
it.
get
This
on
is
that
about as
form.
disrespectful as you
Is that
can
the
get.
one right in front of the door?
That's one right in front of the door.
Yeah. go
And
ahead,
I'm
make your
trying
attack roll.
to throw him through the door.
Sure.
All right, to hit that is a 26.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, good. All right.
26.
So I'm also rolling for radiant damage now because
That's
I got
true.
that thing.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so it's gonna take 15 from the crowbar and 8 radiant damage.
Oh, max roll on the radiant. Wow.
Mhm.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, you boom hit him. He slams against the door, which again rocks and creaks a little bit, but doesn't fully open yet.
How's the radiant damage look to
So
him?
here's the thing. That base extra 1d8, as far as I know, doesn't do any extra effects against particular types of creatures. Only when you use actual divine smite does it have extra effects against particular types of creatures. So if you are seeking to determine whether this is one of those particular types of creatures, you will need to use actual divine smite on it.
Yes. So this thing has nothing. Radiant damage doesn't do anything because it is specifically worded
radiant-
as radiant damage.
Yes, the radiant damage seems to do about the amount of damage you were expecting it to do.
Okay. Great. That's all I want to know.
So
All right.
that's your
I'm
first
doing the
step.
same exact thing.
Great, go for it.
Same golf swing.
Nope. I'm going downwards now.
Yep. Upswing. Boom.
And then spiking it back down.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna guess if a 26 hit, a 27 hit.
Yeah. Surprisingly, no.
Weirdly enough, this one doesn't actually take in damage from odd numbers.
Yeah.
All right. that is a the 13 from the crowbar and 3 radiant damage.
It is still alive, but starting to look rough.
Okay. Real quick, let me just make sure I can't do anything else. Nope, that's it.
All right, Elina.
Hmm. Okay.
From hands.
From what those hands do.
Stop. Hey girl, what those hands do? That's literally what Nick said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the next t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I try? I don't know if this works. You're gonna have to tell me. My channel divinity turn undead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use channel divinity.
Okay.
So
It's a
Oh my God, it's just
wisdom saving throw, and it says each undead that you see or that can see or hear you within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage, and it must spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it
Yep.
can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet.
Yep. What is the number that they need to beat?
Wisdom 15.
Wisdom 15. They both fail their turn undead save. From this information, you learn that they are, in fact, undead.
okay.
So, yes, and also let me just double check something here. Okay. The extra effect of destroy undead does not trigger on these creatures, however. They are too high a challenge rating.
Imagine first encounter with her. We're all just like dancing around and she's off in the back and like snaps her fingers and they just poof.
No, but they do seem to, as you turn undead, this powerful radiant energy fills the space, and these creatures like trying to recoiling from Elina.
Is that you? You're doing that? No? All right.
Um,
I have my holy symbol out in front of me, which is the little gemstone, but it also it's radiating a little glowing raven.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. With that, it is their turns now.
They have to move away.
They have to move away. They're gonna both get over to this wall over here and just kind of try to scramble into the corner. Artemis.
That's an incredibly useful trick you just did. Huh. I have questions for you. Eldritch Blast. Bam, bam.
Okay. Go for it.
One at each.
Go for it. Make your tech rolls.
Oh God, what is that? What is my plus? Is it 11? Yeah. 23.
Yeah.
And the other one is 19 to hit.
Okay. Both hit.
Okay. Kapow. One of them is 9 points of force damage, and the other on the one, I don't know, closest to me.
Okay.
The top one, 9, and the bottom one, 4.
Great. Now that
Oh
they've
wait,
been-
I shoot 3. I shoot 3 now.
Oh, okay.
I'll try and hit one more. 22 to hit.
22 hits. Which
The one that is more damaged,
Go for it.
10 points of force damage.
Great. Yeah, that one's looking rough.
I'm just gonna like get closer to Elina and just like pay attention to the battle, but I'm also just fascinated.
Yeah. Great. Now that they've been damaged, the turn undead feature ends on them. However, however, there are many rounds before their turn, so or many turns before their turns, I should say. Jinarra, that's you.
I might be wasting my turn again, but I'm going to. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to go back over to the store.
Yeah.
I already clocked that there's something behind it. Can can I try to like, I don't know, Eldritch Blast the door to try to like get it open more?
You can certainly try.
Or try to open it.
Yeah, has anyone tried?
I got
the
a nat
handle?
20. So
I
I got
Uh,
a nat 20.
you blast the door. Are you targeting it with all your Eldritch Blast beams?
I sure freaking am.
As you blast the door, pieces of the door break and blast away from the door. So there are now holes in the door. The door is not completely gone, but there are holes in the door, and you can see that a large barrel of some kind was heaved up a set of stairs descending down and pushed in front of this door.
Can I do anything? That's probably my
That
whole
was your
turn.
action. So if you have a bonus action you want to do, you may. But you've learned some valuable information, which is what's blocking the door. And there's holes in the door now, which would probably make it easier to move the barrel.
Okay. That's my turn because I don't think I can really do anything.
Great. Nyx.
I am going to run up. Just kidding. Poop. I still have my cannon out, so I am going to now use the flamethrower effect.
What
So,
What's
so it creates a 15-foot cone of fire. So that should, I think. Should get them.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets both of them.
They have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. 10 and 13.
They both fail. Oh, but that's not a lot of damage. They take 4 points of fire damage.
All right. Great.
That was technically my bonus action.
Yep.
I would like to also shoot one of them.
Go for it. Your gun's magical, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna use my silent
Go for it.
Yeah, we'll use this.
Okay.
They're making enough noise.
Which one are you targeting?
The one in the corner.
Okay.
25
That hits.
and 14 points of damage.
You let out a gout of flame from your tiny cannon, which singes these guys. The tears on their cheeks quickly evaporate from the heat of the
Oh, they're
flames
happy.
Stop crying.
before new tears immediately start streaming back down their faces. And then you pull out your pistol and quietly shoot the one in the corner and kill it. It is more dead than it already was.
Double dead.
Penny.
I'll do lightning launcher at the last one.
Great, go for it.
First is a 23 to hit,
That hits.
and that's oh wow. 22.
22 damage.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Good first shot.
And then I'll do the second. That is a 28 to hit.
That hits. That hits.
And that is holy shit. I've rolled 2 10s. Not in the same one, but twice in a row. 19.
Damn.
And then the third attack is a 26.
That hits.
And that is literally that's wild. Unheard of. 20.
Nice.
All right. That is
That was
We should
three
make
times
Penny
in a row.
mad more often.
yeah.
That was 3 10s in a row.
You let off 3 shots in rapid succession. Riddle this creature with electrical bullets. It went from looking not bad at all to very rough.
He's still standing?
He's still stamping.
I would
Yeah.
second wind, but I don't want to waste it. So
Sure.
That's
Bowmin, that's you.
All right. Well, Bowman's just gonna walk right up to the creature and just start whacking it.
The grand finale.
All right. 25 hit.
25 hits.
Awesome. I was really worried for a second. All right. It takes 14 from the crowbar and 7 from the radiant damage.
With that, it is also defeated. These creatures are no more.
Woo.
And whatever undead spirit was keeping their bodies moving is no longer able to do so.
And there's still crying happening.
Yes.
The house is still
You
crying.
still hear the ambient crying of the house. But their wails have ceased.
I'm sorry. Miss Elina. That was, can we all just recognize that was like fucking cool?
Quite
Like you just held
impressive.
up your thing and they were like, oh, not messing with that. Bye. Like, what does that mean? Your stone, your symbol there.
This
You're
is
muted. Oh,
Oh, am
I
No.
can hear you, but you're
No,
back now.
I think-
Sorry.
hold on.
Ben's
that was
lying.
just me.
Okay.
Yeah, straight up lie.
My headphones have
Please.
been weird tonight. I apologize.
That's okay. This amulet connects me to my god, and she helps. She helps me.
Oh. So like Mr. Bowmin here has a I think you have a god. Do you have a god?
No.
Yeah, not really.
No.
But it's similar. I've always thought of you as like an unholy holy man.
I mean, yes, I often work with the church, but I serve no god. I serve the people.
Elina, do you mind if I ask what business you have with the doctor?
Oh, I'm on a quest to find something, and I think he might have I was just hoping he might be able to help me. He's traveled so much, you see.
You're looking for something like magical or like a person?
Magical. It's a very rare tome that I would really like to find.
Oh, we just came from a whole crap ton of books.
We did.
Wish we would have known.
I don't think this one would be where other books are.
Well, they did find a book that nobody had heard of before at the place that we were, so it's possible.
Going back to Candlekeep.
Yeah, screw this current story. Let's just immediately find
Yeah,
a
let's
back.
leave
Let's
right
go
now
back to the library.
and let's find Alina's book.
Yeah, just leave the quest you're on for your friend you've known forever to just find this random girl's book.
It seems a lot less dangerous.
Well, you don't know what the book
don't know
is
what this book
necessarily.
is.
It's a
That
book.
is true. But
How
it's a
can a
book.
book be?
Bowmin, can you get this barrel out of the way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bowmin, you go over, you can reach through the door. Go ahead and make an athletics check. I will say that the DC has been decreased thanks to Jinarra blasting the
DC.
door.
All right. So just a straight roll, no advantage, disadvantage.
No advantage, disadvantage. I've just lowered the difficulty.
Okay. That was a 27.
Easy enough. You were able to like reach through the hole in the door and just give the barrel a nice little shove, and it topples down the stairs and smashes against the wall where the staircase turns.
Oh, the stairs go down.
The stairs go down.
I was definitely thinking the stairs went
Yes,
up. Great.
sorry. These stairs go down. I don't have the basement map available right now, but I don't think we will need it. I assume you all go down into the cellar.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Stealthily.
Do we have to make athletic checks for walking down the cellar just so we don't, trip over each other?
No, that's okay. You all go one by one down into the cellar. Creaking stairs lead into a damp, cobweb draped cellar containing dusty racks and 8-foot-tall wine barrels. Sorry. One of the casks has burst, covering the stone floor in crimson stains. Hunched in the corner of the room, muttering incoherently with tears dripping down his face, is a human man, probably in his late 50s. His receding brown hair is streaked with gray, as is his chin-strap beard. He looks disheveled, and he smells like he's been down here for a couple days. Elina, you immediately recognize this as Rudolph Van Richten. I would also like everybody who has a passive perception of 15 or higher to raise your hand for me. Okay. Yep. So everybody except Bowmin.
Oh, Bowmin.
Everybody
buddy.
except Bowmin,
Oh.
you notice
Good thing he's in the middle.
that clutched tightly in one of this man's
Oh.
hand is a scrap of paper.
I'm gonna run over to him.
Yeah.
I try to talk to him.
As you go over, you shake him, you try to get his attention. He's just
Rudolph,
and it just goes on like that.
I take the paper from his hand.
You manage to yank this paper out from his clutched hand and pull it open. And you find a note scrawled on a piece of paper, not in Van Richten's handwriting, but in an elegant cursive handwriting. This piece of paper, parchment, looks like it's quite old. It's probably been, laying out for a few years. And this crumpled piece of parchment reads, "Mother, Father, I know what you have done. The lengths that you would go to prevent us from being together sicken me to my core. You thought you could control every aspect of my life? Well, I am taking control of the one thing I still can. You may think that you have finally stopped us from being together, but not even you can prevent us from being together in the afterlife. Right."
Oh.
And that is where we will end tonight's episode.
Ah.
Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.